So you've got a SharkBite fitting that needs to come off, and you're standing there staring at it, wondering how in the world you're supposed to get this thing loose without destroying your pipe. Maybe you don't have the right tool. Maybe the fitting is jammed up tight against a wall. Or maybe you've just never had to remove one before, and you're not sure where to start. Either way, I've got you covered. I'm going to walk you through 6 different ways to remove a SharkBite fitting, starting with the easiest method all the way down to a couple of emergency tricks that work when nothing else will. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you how to tell whether that fitting is safe to reuse or whether it needs to go in the trash. That one tip alone can save you a trip to the hardware store. Let's get into it. Removing a SharkBite or any push-style fitting is one of those things that seems complicated until you understand what's actually happening inside the fitting. Once that clicks, every single removal method I'm about to show you is going to make perfect sense. And honestly, this is a skill you'll use more than you think. So let's start with how these fittings actually work on the inside. Here's what's going on inside a SharkBite fitting, and this is the key to understanding why removal works the way it does. Inside every SharkBite, there's a ring of small stainless steel teeth that sit around the circumference of the fitting. When you push a pipe in, those teeth grab onto the outside of the pipe and they bite down. The harder you pull, the tighter they grip. That's what makes these fittings so reliable. They hold on and they don't let go. But here's the part most people miss. There's a small collar right at the mouth of the fitting, and that collar is the release mechanism. When you press that collar inward, toward the body of the fitting, it disengages those stainless steel teeth. Once the teeth release their grip, the pipe slides right out. Every single method I'm about to show you is just a different way of pressing that collar in. That's it. Whether you're using a dedicated tool, a wrench, a hose clamp, or even your fingernails, the goal is always the same. Push the collar in, pull the pipe out. Once you understand that, you're already ahead of most people who've never taken one of these apart. Before you touch anything, you need to shut off the water. I know that sounds obvious, but I've seen guys skip this step because they figured they'd be quick enough. Trust me, you won't be. SharkBite fittings hold back full line pressure, and the second that pipe clears the fitting, you're going to have water everywhere. So find your shutoff valve, turn it off, and then open a faucet downstream to relieve any remaining pressure in the line. You want that line completely depressurized before you start working. If you're dealing with a fitting on a hot water line, give it a few minutes to cool down too. There's no reason to burn yourself over a 5-minute job. Once the water's off and the pressure is relieved, grab a small bucket or a towel and set it underneath the fitting. There's almost always a little bit of residual water sitting in the pipe, and it's going to dribble out the second you pull that fitting free. A little prep here saves you from getting your drywall or your floor wet. All right, with the water off and your area prepped, let's get into the actual removal methods. The first and easiest way to remove a SharkBite fitting is with the dedicated disconnect clip that SharkBite actually makes for this purpose. It's a small, usually orange or cream-colored horseshoe-shaped plastic clip. You slide it over the pipe and push it right up against the mouth of the fitting. What it does is press that release collar in evenly all the way around. Once the clip is seated, you just pull the pipe and the fitting separates cleanly. These clips come in 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch sizes to match standard SharkBite fittings, so make sure you've got the right size for your pipe. If you bought a SharkBite fitting at the store, one of these clips might have actually come in the packaging. A lot of people throw them away without realizing what they are. If you've got one, this is the simplest, cleanest removal you can do. Takes about 3 seconds. But here's the thing. You're not always going to have one of these clips on hand, and that's exactly why I want to show you what else works. Quick thing before we move on. I have spent 35 years learning these fixes the hard way, and I put the best of what I know into a book called 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes. 122 pages of step-by-step repairs with 17 diagrams that can save you thousands. Scan the QR code on screen or hit the link in the description if you want the full guide. Now, back to the fix. All right, method 2, and this is the one I reach for more than anything else on the job. The adjustable wrench. Every plumber has an adjustable wrench in their bag, and chances are you've got one in your toolbox at home too. Here's how it works. Open up the jaw of your wrench and adjust it so it fits snugly around the pipe, right up against the face of the fitting. You want the jaw sitting flat against that release collar. Now, with one hand, push the wrench firmly toward the fitting to depress the collar, and with the other hand, pull the pipe out. You might need to wiggle it just slightly, but it should pop free without much fight. The key here is making sure the wrench jaw is the right size for the pipe. If it's too loose, it'll slide around and won't press the collar evenly. If you're working with half-inch pipe, adjust accordingly. 3/4 inch, same thing. You can also use a pipe wrench for this if that's what you've got available. The concept is identical. As long as the jaw fits around the pipe and presses that collar inward, it's going to work. This is honestly my go-to method when I don't have a disconnect clip nearby, and 9 times out of 10, it gets the job done in under 30 seconds. Method 3 is one that catches most people off guard because you'd never think to use it for this purpose. Pipe straps. Those little copper or plastic clips that are used to secure pipe to joists and wall studs. If you've got a half-inch pipe strap lying around, and most people doing any kind of plumbing work will, you can use it as a removal tool. Take the strap, slide it over the pipe, and press it up against the collar of the fitting just like you would with the dedicated clip. The curved shape of the strap fits around the pipe nicely and gives you enough surface area to push that collar in. It's not as clean as the official tool, but it absolutely works. I've used this trick on job sites more times than I can count, especially when I'm roughing in a bathroom and I've got pipe straps everywhere. But my disconnect clips are sitting in the van. One thing to keep in mind: make sure the strap is the correct size for your pipe. A 3/4 inch strap on a half-inch pipe is going to be too loose and won't engage the collar properly. Match the strap to the pipe and you're good to go. Method 4 is the hose clamp, and I really like this one because of how versatile it is. If you've ever worked on a car, done irrigation work, or even hooked up a washing machine, you probably have a hose clamp somewhere in your garage. The beauty of a hose clamp is that it's adjustable, so one clamp can work on multiple pipe sizes. Here's what you do. Loosen the hose clamp all the way and open it up. Wrap it around the pipe right at the mouth of the fitting, then tighten it down just enough so it sits snug against the collar. You don't need to crank it down hard. You just need it firm enough to press the collar inward as you pull the pipe out. Once it's in position, grip the pipe and pull while the clamp holds the collar depressed. The fitting should release cleanly. This is a great trick to keep in your back pocket, especially if you deal with SharkBite fittings regularly. I'd honestly recommend keeping a couple of hose clamps in your plumbing toolbox just for this purpose. They weigh nothing, cost almost nothing, and they've bailed me out on more than one occasion. Now, method 5 is for a very specific situation, and if you've ever dealt with it, you know exactly how frustrating it is. I'm talking about when the SharkBite fitting is installed right up against a wall, a joist, or some other obstruction, and you cannot fit a wrench, a disconnect clip, or anything else in that tiny gap between the fitting and the surface behind it. This is where a bicycle wrench comes in. A bicycle wrench, sometimes called a cone wrench, is thin and flat, and it can slide into tight spaces where nothing else will fit. You slip the wrench between the fitting and the wall, position it against the collar, and press inward while pulling the pipe. Now, I'll be honest, this is more of a homeowner solution than a professional plumber trick. Most plumbers aren't carrying bicycle wrenches in their toolbox. But if you're a do-it-yourselfer and you've got a bike tool kit sitting in your garage, check it for a thin wrench that matches your pipe size. They usually come in sets with multiple sizes, so odds are good you'll find one that works. It's a niche solution, but when you need it, nothing else is going to do the job. All right, methods 6 and 7 are what I call emergency options. These are for when you've got absolutely nothing else available, and you need that fitting off right now. First up, your fingernails. I know that sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. If you've got decent nails and a good grip, you can actually depress that collar by digging your nails in around the edge and pushing inward. It helps to push the fitting toward the pipe first, to take some pressure off the teeth, and then pull while pressing the collar in with your nails. It's not elegant and it's not easy, but it can be done in a pinch. The last resort is using a piece of cord or string. This one is specifically for tight spaces, where you can't even get your fingers in. Take a length of thin, strong cord, wrap it around the pipe right against the collar, and use a back and forth flossing motion to press the collar inward while you pull the pipe. I'll be straight with you, this method doesn't always work. Sometimes the cord isn't strong enough, or the angle you're working at just doesn't give you enough leverage. But I've seen it work, and when you're in a tight spot with no tools, it's worth trying before you reach for a saw. Let's go over some issues you might run into and how to deal with them. First up, the pipe won't budge even after you've depressed the collar. This usually means you haven't pushed the collar in far enough or you're not pressing it in evenly around the full circumference. Make sure whatever tool you're using is making solid, even contact with the collar all the way around. Try repositioning your tool and applying steady pressure while pulling. Don't yank on it. Smooth, firm pulling force is what gets it done. Next, the fitting spins on the pipe but won't come off. This typically happens when the O-ring inside the fitting is gripping the pipe. A little twist while you pull can help break it free. If the pipe is copper, it might have some corrosion or buildup that's creating extra friction. Just keep working it with steady pressure and it'll release. Third, you've got the fitting off, but the pipe end looks chewed up or scratched. Those stainless steel teeth can leave marks on the pipe, especially on softer materials like copper or PEX. If you're planning to reinsert the pipe into another fitting, inspect the surface carefully. Light scratches are usually fine, but deep gouges can compromise the seal on your next connection. If the pipe end is damaged, cut off the damaged section and give yourself a fresh end to work with. Fourth, the collar feels like it's stuck and won't depress at all. This can happen with older fittings that have been in place for years, especially in hard water areas where mineral buildup can stiffen things up. Try applying a small amount of silicone lubricant around the collar to loosen it up. Don't use petroleum-based lubricants as they can damage the O-rings inside the fitting. Finally, the fitting is in a spot where you can literally reach nothing. Before you cut into the wall or start tearing things apart, try the cord method I mentioned. If that fails, sometimes the smartest move is to simply cut the pipe on either side of the fitting and replace that section. A new SharkBite coupling costs a few bucks and takes seconds to install. Don't spend an hour fighting a $3 fitting. Follow the steps we covered, and you should be able to handle just about any SharkBite removal situation you come across. All right, here's that bonus tip I promised at the beginning. Once you get a SharkBite fitting off, the big question is whether you can reuse it or whether you need to toss it and grab a new one. Here's how to tell. First, look inside the fitting at the O-ring. That's the rubber seal that keeps water from leaking. If it's cracked, flattened, or has any visible damage, replace the fitting. A damaged O-ring means a guaranteed leak down the road. Second, check the stainless steel teeth. Look for any teeth that are bent, missing, or flattened. If the teeth aren't in good shape, the fitting won't grip the pipe securely and you're asking for a failure. Third, look at the overall body of the fitting for cracks or deformation, especially around the collar area. If everything looks clean and intact, you can absolutely reuse a SharkBite fitting. I've reused them plenty of times on jobs without any issues. But here's my rule of thumb. If the fitting has been installed for more than 5 years, or if it was on a line with particularly hard water, I just replace it. A new SharkBite fitting costs a few dollars. A water damage repair costs thousands. That's an easy trade every single time. That wraps it up. If this was useful, you will love the full book. 50 step-by-step plumbing fixes with diagrams, all in one guide. Link is below. Hit subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Thanks for watching.